Okay. Hi everybody, welcome to my channel and to another tutorial. Uh, we, I'm doing Atelier des Arts today. I'm doing a mini album. It's going to be 8.5 by 8.5. Not sure how thick yet. We'll have to see how many pages we do. So I'm so excited. I've been waiting to work with this collection for so long. And I couldn't do it as early as I wanted to because of the move to Delray Beach. So now this is my first tutorial at the new place. This is my new setup. I will probably have to get up and go look for things because I'm not 100% set up yet. Okay, so what I'm doing with this tutorial is because this collection is just very colorful and have a lot of different elements to it. Decided that I'm going to work around the elements. So I couldn't really give you an exact cut list. Also, it just takes me a little bit longer to design the album. So I work page by page and I design it and I cut it already. In the tutorial, I'm just going to put things together, but I will try to point out which pack and which page I took the cut from. Okay, so I will give you the measurement of the cardstock of the base of the elements, but the pattern paper itself, it's always going to be a 1/4 inch less than the measurement. So in the description, you'll see the measurements. When you see an S next to that measurement, it means you single score that side at a 1/2 inch. DS means a double score at that side at 1/2 inch and at 5/8 of an inch. And if you see SS next to that measurement, it means you score at each side 1/2 inch from edge. You'll see the SS where let's start and see how we
have
do.
pockets to score.
All right, so this is it. We're going to be starting as usual, section A. You should have the measurements listed in the description, and we'll make a PDF with the measurements as well. So section A, which means each page have 2 sections, and then we have the cover, the outside of the cover, and the inside of the cover. Each element within the section has a number, so we'll have A1, A2, A3, and they will be numbered. So in addition to me cutting all of the paper first, I also inked the edges. And what I do is I take my dabber and I put it in ink and I go over the edges just to make sure that I remove the white core from showing because I'm using black paper. So I don't want to show the white core around. If you don't have ink, you can just take your Sharpie and you can use a black Sharpie. Something just fell. You can take a black Sharpie or any other Sharpie that you want and just, with a marker, go over the edges. So another thing that I wanted to mention is I went ahead and put um, the tape around some of the sections, and I think it will just make the tutorial a little faster this way. Okay, so here we go. These are my sections, and we're going to be starting with section A1. Let's take some of these things together and take it one step at a time. Okay, so this is my base. A base is 8 1/4 by 8
All
and
base
7
pages are
eighths,
8 1/4
and
by
it
8
is
and
double
7
scored
eighths,
around the
double
8 and
scored
7
on the
8
8 and
side.
7/8 side.
So after I cut the paper to 8 1/4 by 8 and 7/8, I take my scoreboard, and if I have the score mark, which is in parentheses S, or double score mark, which is in parentheses DS for double score, if I have it next to the 8 and 7/8, it means that the 8 and 7/8 are going to be placed on the top with the lines going in diagonal, and
You'll be scoring top to bottom, not in a diagonal, at a 1/2 inch and 5/8 of an inch.
so you'll have two score lines right there next to each other with an 1/8 of an inch in between. If I only put one S, it means that I only scored it once. Okay, so this is my base. All of the bases are going to be the same size, and we're going to be putting one of them to the back of each other. So A1 will be at the back of B1, where the top part for A1 is going to be on the top, and on B it's going to be on the bottom, and that's how they're going to be attached together. Okay. So after I fold it, I have a little wing, and this is how they're going to be attached together. So the B1 wing will be attaching to A1 over here, and it'll create a pocket where we can put an insert there for additional photos. Okay, so A1, I'm leaving the wing part on the top. I'm going to take section A2. A2 is a lift flap. It is 5 7/8 double score on the 5 7/8 side by 8 1/4, which means it sits this way on the scoreboard where the 5 7/8 is on the top, and it is scored twice because it's a double score again along the 5 7/8 sides. And this will be attached here because it's a left flap. And then I have A3. A3 is a right flap. So the right flap will be on the right side right over here. It is 5 3/4 by 7, scored twice, again double scored along the 5 3/4 side. So it is scored right there. And it'll sit on the right side because it's a right flap on the top part. So let's go ahead and put these two pieces together. We're going to be attaching them to A1. So when you are folding the double score, what you'll get is a little return there with a little bit height. The reason that I like to do that is when you're adding photographs and elements on the bottom, it'll just sit really nicely and it will not flap up. If you'll just do one score, and you can do one score too if you want, but it'll be going up a little bit. And I'm adding a 1/2 inch wide double side tape. I'm using Score Pal. Which is very user-friendly for scrapbooker because it is easy to tear it. And A3, doing the same thing. putting this on the wing. Okay, and it's coming up a little bit. Let me just cut it. Oops. I think maybe we'll use the 3/8 of an inch. Okay. So this I'm going to put on the right side. I'm not putting this yet, and I'll show you why in a minute. Remove the back of this tape. This will be on the left side. This is the part that's going to be sitting on top of this flap. And I fussy cut here a little bit around the lady. You can see I cut it around. So I want to put the lady on the flap first, and then I want to cut around it, and then I will attach it. Already put the tape in there, and I inked the edges. And when you're placing your pattern paper over those black cardstock sections, always leave a little bit of a border around it. Okay. Not only it looks nicer, but it also prevents from all of those edges and the corners coming up. And I'm going to cut around the face, and I'm leaving a little bit of a black border as well. Okay. Now I can go ahead and put it there, but I'm putting it all the way to the top part, but not going over the score lines. So if I have the double score here, let me show you the double score line here. It's going to go right under the second line. Okay. On the top, leaving this area here on the bottom. So this part will go on the outside of the flap. Let me show you which page I used for those cuts. Okay, this is, I think, from the 8x8. So this was taken from the 8x8 from this page. What I did is I cut the lady out here up to this line, and I left this line over here. And so this line goes here, and this lady is over here. And that's from the 8x8. This piece, I think it's also from the 8x8. Okay. And it is taken from this page right there. This is it. I just cut it right here along this line right there. Okay. And it fits exactly over the flap with the border around. Okay. Now before I put anything there, I think I want to put a little magnet there so that it'll close nicely. Take the magnet. We're taking 2 of them. So I'm taking 2 disc magnets. And I'm eyeballing probably over here. And once I put the first one down, I take a piece of tape, I put it on the other side, and the magnet over it. Okay? It's back to back, so now the magnet sits on top of each other. Take this out, obviously. And I'm going to close it on top of each other, press it down, and now it sits exactly at the spot where I need it to be so that the magnets will meet each other. And this will go over here on top. Okay, I can take this out. The big pieces that I am attaching, I do have the tape around, but I'm also going to add a little bit of glue. It's probably closed already. Oh, no. Okay. I'm going to start at one corner. Make sure it's even on both sides. Touch it. And then go around and glue the rest. And that's how I'm making sure that I'm putting it straight. Okay, the next section is going to be the center. I'm going to put this here. And I'm going to put a flat pocket on the bottom. So the flat pocket is A4, 8¼ by 1½. And there are no score lines and no folds. Okay, it's just going to get attached to the bottom here. But first I'm going to put this section right there. I think this is also from the 8x8. No, it is from the 12x12. Let's see. It is from this page right there. And it is this section here. It's sort of a center one. I trimmed this, I trimmed that, and I trimmed this area here. So let's just give you measurements so that you'll know exactly where to cut it. So it's 1 inch from this edge. Put it up. 1 inch from this edge, and it's 8 inches this way. So I cut it at 8 inch from the bottom right by 8, 8 by 8, and I just trimmed 1 inch on the bottom out. And the 1 inch from the bottom is just to give you an idea why. This is also a lady, and I wanted to okay. It's right there. Okay. And this piece goes here. Oh no, sorry, this is from the 8 by 8. What am I saying? This is from the 12 by 12. This is from the 8 by 8. So this one, we did the lady from the 8 by 8. This is the bottom of that same page. Yes, this is the bottom of the page from 8 by 8. So we use the lady over here. And this is just a continuation of the same page. Let's put it over the pocket. I hope this makes sense to you. Again, I'm leaving 1/8 of an inch border all around it. Okay, I added just a teeny bit glue in the areas where I don't have tape, not a lot. And I'm going to put this at the center, underneath the second score line, so that the flaps can move freely. And over here I'm putting the pocket, and it's a flat pocket, so flat pocket is going to get glued on 3 sides. Like that. And I'm placing it on the bottom. Actually, it is, I need to trim a little bit from the edges. Because it goes a little bit over my fold. Okay. Okay, now on this side, I'm going to do a little pocket. It's A5, and the pocket is 4 3/4, scored once on the 4 3/4 side, by 6 and scored twice on the 6. If you and you see it doesn't say double score, it says S in parentheses and again S in parentheses, which means you score once on the right and once on the left. Okay, and it looks like this. You have half an inch score here. Again, a half an inch scored here and half an inch scored here. Take your scissors and you're going to cut a diagonal where the two score lines meet. Right there. And when you fold it, you're going to get 3 wings. And when you glue it down, you have an opening here. The side where there's no tape, that's your opening. And that's your pocket opening. I'm going to put this pocket right there. I'm going to put this beautiful picture on top of the pocket. And I'm going to put a solid color cardstock in cream color on the top. Okay, so first things first, let's see where we're taking this from. This will be from the 12 by 12 collection. And let's look for that page. I think this is it. This is the page. It's right here from the bottom left. And it measures 4 by 4 3/4. 4 3/4 by 4 from this page in the 8 by 8 collection. This will go on top of the pocket. Make sure that you're putting it on the right side, where your opening is on the top. Look at this again. This is my opening. And this is the base. I'm going to put this one first before I put the pocket. This is again 4 by 5/8. 4 by 5/8. Will go on the top part of the left flap. I'm removing only part of the tape out. Make sure it's where we need it to be, and now I can remove the rest. Okay. Over here on this side, I have the magnet. I need to hide it. Okay. And another element that I want to put there is I want to put the little belly band. So first thing first, let's cover this up. And I'm going to cover it maybe with some cutout. So these are the 2 pages of the cutouts from the 8 by 8 collection, which is the back of the front cover and the back of the back cover. They all have cut out elements. So just pick something that you want to put, you know, maybe one of these, maybe a brush, maybe the bottle, maybe one of these. So I think that I'm going to choose, I don't know, maybe this bottle. This is kind of cute. Or we can even have this here. Maybe we'll do this because this is kind of round. It has a nice round element to it. I really should use my blade. Okay. And edges. When you use inking in the same color as the cardstock, which in this case black, it sort of blends the, the edges, so you don't really see if you have imperfections. I just want to cut the inside here. For that I really need my blade. I don't know where my little blade is. Pen or pencil because it's too smaller area for the ink. Okay. Whee! Just do a little bit. Okay. I'm going to put this here. All right. So this is the belly band. It is A6, 7 1/4 by 1 inch. And I'm going to put it right there. And I have this cut out. And let's see where I cut this from. And this was cut out from the 12 by 12 collection. It is this page. This page I cut here and down here, and I cut some of those elements out, which I'll show you. I cut a lot of those elements out. And this one is right here. It's just the bottom corner right there. See? It's this piece right there. Okay, and I'm going to glue both corners. When you do a belly band, you just do the two corners of the strip and put it where it needs to go. Okay. So over here we're going to do a tag or photo mat, and you know, we can do another photo mat that will fit here if you like, or inside the belly band. So let's see how we're doing a photo mat. The photo mat is just a piece of the cardboard that I cut out. I trimmed the corners here with my corner round trimmer. If you don't have that, you can just do square ones with your scissors. You can just take your scissors out. Okay. And this is 4.5 by 6.5, and it'll fit a 4x6 photographs. So you can either put your photograph, or I'm going to make it white in this particular case because I'm not placing my own photographs in there yet. So in lieu of a photograph, I am putting 4x6 white cardstock, which I also trimmed the edges of that. And the same on the back side. You can also do it 4.25 by 6.25 instead of 4.5 by 6.5, because it just needs really just a little opening around it. It doesn't really fit here, so we can trim it a little bit on the side. It does fit in here. We'll do another one there. But we might want to do both of them the same. So let's do them 4.25 by 6.25. We'll take the 110-pound cardstock. We'll cut it at 6.25 and at 4.25. So I have two pieces that are 4.25 by 6.25. We need the white cardstock, right? Okay, 4 by 6. pieces that are 4 by 6. And the edges on this one. And the smaller rounds. This one. So we have 2, 1 for each side. Double say tape. I don't usually put regular glue on white cardstock because for some reason it shows more than on the black. Yeah, I think I like this better. Well, this one fits nicely in there. Okay. Or we can just use it for tags and put this here. However you like it. Okay, section A is finished. Okay, let's do section B. Okay, section B, B1. Again, we have 8 1/4 by 8 7/8, and it is double scored on the 8 7/8 side. This time we're going to keep the double score flap on the bottom. We have, let's see, B3, that's B3, and B2. B2 is 5 5/8, double scored on the 5 5/8 side by 8 1/4. This is a top flap, which means we're going to put this flap on the top part. So let's fold this. Remember, it is double scored, so we are folding it twice. We're going to put it on the top of the section. I'm just going to turn it around because it's just easier for me to put it when it is close to me. Okay. So I only took a little bit of the tape out here and I'm pressing it down in the corner right there. And I just wanted you to see. You see, I am putting it where the first line of the score is. Okay. So when it folds, it has 1/8 of an inch space right there. And that is my top flap. On the bottom, I have a pocket that is B3 and it'll be a flat pocket and it'll be on the bottom right there. Okay. Now I put a magnet here because I do want to arrange of some kind of a magnet right there. So I left it there and this is going to be over my magnet. And this piece will go on top of my flat pocket. And then I have those two sections. This one will go on top of the flap. And this will go on the bottom part. And this one, I don't know, will go somewhere. Okay. Or this will go here on the bottom. And I can do this one here. How do we choose to do it? However, so I have two parts. I have this one for one side, and I have this for the other. So you can choose to put this one here and this there. No, I want to put this one here on the outside. I think it's more interesting. Maybe, I don't know. Well, no, you know what? No, because if I put this on the inside and I have things stuck here, they're not going to fall out. So this will be my arrangement. Okay, take a solid cardstock. This one is in brown. It measures 5 by 8. And I'm going to put it on the inside of my flap. So this is the inside, right? Remember, all we did is we put a top flap. So now I'm going to put it close to the score line, about 1/8 of an inch away from the score line, and it's going to hide this line right there. Okay. Now we'll put my flat pocket. My flat pocket will go here. So I'm taping it on 3 sides. 1, 2, and 3. And I have a magnet here that I already placed. And the magnet is going to be inside the pocket, so you won't really see it. So put the magnet right there in the middle. It's about 1/2 an inch from the edge at the center of the pocket on the top side where it's going to be the open side. And this is where I have the score line. This is where this is going to fold and attach to the other page. So my pocket starts at that line. Let's go ahead and put this pattern paper over it. And this pattern paper is the other side of which we cut already. And it is, where is it? It's this one. Okay. We used this one already in the first section. So this is the second part and the 8x8 path. And I'm putting this pattern on the bottom. You can choose to put it on the bottom or on the top. I don't know, wherever. Put it on the top. Put it on the top. Like that. Okay. What did I do? Did I leave the magnet there? Don't remember what I did with the magnet, if I left the magnet there or not. So if I left the magnet there, that's kind of silly. So I'm just going to take the magnet, I'm just going to leave it there and take the other one from the inside. Yeah, I left it here. I did not intended to remove it before I put the paper down, but I did not. So instead of it being on the inside, it'll just be on the outside. Okay. Never mind. That's what happens when you don't do tutorial for a while. Kind of lose your edge. You make silly mistakes. Okay, so now I put the magnet here. And what we'll do is I'm going to put the paper here, and I want to make like a closure. I think what I want to use for the closure. Maybe I'll use this color cardstock. I'll take this cardstock. Maybe one of these. I think this will be really cool. Okay, we'll take this one. Okay, so I think this is from the back of the cover of the 8x8. Trim the edges, round the edges a little bit. Okay, right now I'm inking the edges. And we'll put it here, and let's measure the size that we want. Okay, so I'm just marking where I want to cut it. You don't need to do too much with it. Next one. Next two. Okay, so this piece is 2 3/8 by 3. I'm going to go ahead and trim the edges, around the corners I mean. And I'm going to use the bigger one for the black part. Actually, it's kind of nice. I have the face here. And I think I'm going to put the magnet in between the red cardstock and the black cardstock. So I'm going to turn the magnet around. And this is going to be here. This is where the magnet is going to sit. Right there. Except that I think it's a little off. It's not even. And we do want it even, don't we? Okay. Let's see. No, it's 8 1/4, right? Yeah, it's 8 1/4, which means it's 4 1/8. Should be 4 1/8. 4 1/8. It's a little bit on the side, but it's okay. Okay. This will be here. Okay, so this one is 8 by 4 3/8. We go on the top. This is from the 12 by 12. And it's this part right here. Okay. let's attach this here. I'm going to glue this here. And this will be my closure. Okay, and now for this part. So for this part, I have this sort of, it's half pocket, half flat pocket. This cardstock is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 by 3, and I scored it at about 3/8 of an inch here, 1/4 inch there. I just scored it so it will go inside part, with not all the way to the edges. I wanted it to have just a little bit out of the edge. Let me see. See, there is a little bit of space right there, not a lot, just about 1/8 of an inch. So I have 2 little wings there, and I'm gluing those wings and one of the sides, just one. I'm going to put it on the left side. So it's a little bit of a flat pocket. It's not really deep, but it gives me a little bit of an opening here to put something in there comfortably. I took this lovely picture. It's again from the 8x8. There is a page of cutouts, and I took it from here. This is the cutout, and I'm going to put it right there. Now if you want, you can put something here, you can put something else on the border, whatever you like. Okay, I think I will definitely do some kind of an embellishment on top and on the bottom. Then I cut from solid cardstock. This is 4 by 4 3/4, and I'll put this one here next to the opening. And I have a little strip. You see where this one came from? We will discover soon enough. Okay. Okay. It is from this page right here. I just don't know if it's from the 8x8 or the 12x12. Possible that it is from the 8x8. For the 12x12, let's just check 1 second. Yeah, it's probably from here. So when I cut out those pages from here, yeah, I think it's this one. When I cut this strip here, when I cut those out, this is one of the pieces that I had left. Okay, so it's from the 12 by 12. So it's about 3/4 wide by 4 5/8, something like that. This will go there very nicely. Okay, so I have a little pocket there, and this is placement for a photograph. So you can choose to put it on in the center or on the side with an embellishment. And again, it is 4 by 6. So I'm putting it on the bottom left corner, and I will add embellishment, maybe a headline, maybe a headline or a saying or something. Here. Okay, so this is B1. I'm going to take B1 and attach it to A1. Remember, A1 had the flap on the top, and B1 has the flap on the bottom, this little flap on the bottom. I'm going to be attaching them both together like that. I'm going to put the tape on those wings. Just going to trim the excess, because once I take the tape off, it can just get glued to the other side, and I don't want that. If you want to avoid doing that, just use the 3/8 of an inch tape. Okay, I'm taking a little bit off here. Making sure that it's correct. This is my placement. And I'm starting on this side. Make sure it's nice and even. And doing the other one. Okay, so one side will be attached to the book, and the other side will be an insert photo mat. So this page is ready. I have two sections, section A And this one just fell off. And I need to just finish the tags. And page B, flaps up, little pocket there. And we can do something here for the pocket. Maybe do another photo mat right there. That's a good idea. I have a photo mat here. This is a photo. I still want to do embellishments here. And there's a pocket here. You can do something for the pocket, right? Okay, and we're done. I'll see you back here for the next section. See you in a bit. Bye.